So we're going to pick up the previous night. Tribute has just had an exchange of words and is headed back to the room she stays in with Listel. Listel is it's the middle of the night. He's in the room. You get to the door and knock. A very dozy, once again, he's got the large cartoonish nightgown, the hat he is forced over his head. You see it and you get a good idea that it's not going to make it through another night. But very dozily he comes to the door and he says, Tribute. Another night out on the town.
I really don't mean to make a habit of this, I swear.
Oh, you're young. It's fine. You should be enjoying yourself. Please, come in. I'll prepare the bedside. He tosses the pillow and the blanket off onto the floor, and you begin to take your armor off and
I just start hucking my armor into a corner.
just throwing it into the... And you bed down for the night.
Sleepy time.
It is nap time. You're getting well into the night. We're figuring right around like 1, 2 o'clock when Tribute, you're kind of not pulled from consciousness, but in that weird, like you're asleep but awake, still very aware of what's around you. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It sucks.
Yeah. But you hear the headboard of the bed just pounding into the wall.
Concern. The first thing that comes to mind is not something that I want to witness. I'm gonna like slowly roll over and like kind of try and crack an eye, see what's happening.
All right. When you roll over and look over, you look up to the bed. You see that an extremely bright white light is filling the room.
Oh shit.
And Listel, his eyes are glowing white and red. They're flashing. And he is seizing violently on the bed.
Man, his own eyes gave him epilepsy. So realizing this is something else and not what my first thought was, I'm going to try and hold him down so he doesn't hurt himself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a strength check.
15.
You're able to walk over to the bed, and as you grab onto his shoulders, you push him down into the bed, but the soft hay and feather bed, he sinks down a little bit. But you're able to hold him, and he shakes more and more and more. You hear these strange words coming out of his mouth. Roll an Arcana.
Ooh, it's not my strong suit. That's a nat 20.
Okay.
Yes, it is a strong suit.
Man,
Today it is.
burn that one early.
You hear a mix of words. You hear your native language, Infernal, and what you hear, it's broken up. It sounds like arcane words of casting. It's like he's trying to cast something, but in the middle of it, he breaks, and he starts, help, help, but he can't continue that sentence. It's a casting and pleading for help, casting, pleading for help.
Can I tell, with my nat 20, what kind of spell he's starting to cast? Is it like a helpful spell, like end curse, or is it something else?
With a natural 20, from what little bit he's kind of getting out, he's starting an incantation, but having to restart it, because if you interrupt it, it stops. Mm-hmm. You get the idea that it's similar to certain summoning incantations.
Okay. Since I'm holding him down, I'm gonna try to kind of like put my tail in his mouth, like between his teeth, so he can't finish what he's trying to say.
Okay. When you do this with the violent seizing, he is going to bite down onto your tail.
I fully expect that.
Yeah, it's just a single point of damage. Continue this, you will lose the end of your tail. Which I imagine for a tiefling is like biting someone's finger off.
Yeah, that's probably not great.
Why didn't you use his tail?
Because I'm not mean, and then I would have to free a hand to grab his tail and shove it in his mouth.
Man. Think like Addie. Think like Bugs Bunny.
Oh, I'm not Addie, and we should probably all thank God for that.
Man, Paladin Addie. Ooh. Rough.
Okay, so I don't want to lose the tip of my tail. But I'm not wearing my gauntlets. Shoot. I'm gonna try and put a tip of the blanket in his mouth instead. Kind of like make a little blanket wad.
Okay.
Blanket gag.
I'm not gonna use a pillow because I don't want to play the "Am I smothering him" game.
Taking your hand off, he will try to shake free from you. So just go ahead and just roll another strength check.
I also don't think he's a pillow biter.
19.
All right, you're able to hold him. You grab the blanket and you're able to put it in his mouth. For a short amount of time, he seizes more and more and more. You see his eyes are flashing red and white and red and white and red and white. And almost all at once, it all stops. And energy just leaves the room, and he lays completely unconscious on the bed.
Immediately checking for a pulse.
He has one.
Okay, thank God. If he's unconscious, I think I'm gonna let him be.
If you release him, his eyes will open.
Yes, I would do so.
And they're just red.
Like his normal red or like glowing red?
Like glowing red.
I'm gonna get ready to grab him again in case he starts seizing.
He very calmly sits up, moves his feet over the bed, and begins to get dressed.
Lestel. Hey, I'm gonna try and get his attention. Like wave my hand in front of him.
He seems largely unresponsive.
I'm gonna grab his shoulder.
He just tries to brush your hand off.
Lestel, what are you doing? I'm gonna try and like turn him to face me.
And his eyes are fine. And he says, I'm getting dressed.
This early?
Do you remember what I told you on the boat? About the meeting I have to make.
Refresh my memory. A lot has happened since then. Forgive me.
I've had dreams. So many dreams. And they brought me here for a meeting. And tonight's the meeting.
A meeting with who?
I don't know.
And
But I
you're just
have to
gonna
be
go?
there. I have no choice.
What would happen if you don't go?
These dreams drove me from my home onto a slaver's boat to an island of murderous pirates and vagabonds. And I would do all of that before I disobeyed these dreams. I don't want to know what will happen if I disobey them now.
Do you hear a voice in these dreams?
I hear her voice now. It's deep. It sounds like a wild animal. And I have to come to it.
You're not gonna go alone.
And he finishes putting his clothes on, and he grabs that book. And he leaves.
I'm gonna grab my armor and start chasing him, pulling boots on.
Armor will take 10 minutes to put on. You could probably reasonably grab your sword, your shield, probably your holy item.
Can I do just the chain shirt? And not like the full suit?
Yes.
I'll do that then.
Yeah. You grab on your chain shirt, you grab your holy item, you grab your sword and shield. And by the time you're outside, he's already at the end of the pier. He's a good distance away. He's not running or anything. He's actually walking at a very calmed pace.
Then I would move quickly to catch up with him.
You're able to do so, and he doesn't look disturbed. He looks calm. if you just put the last conversation out of your head, he's on a pleasant night stroll. And he walks far from the shipwreck. He walks far from the docks. And he starts to walk on that familiar path you had taken to Bayside Warf the first time, from where you were stranded. And he begins to walk into the jungle. You still follow him?
Yes.
How much space do you keep between you and him?
I wouldn't even be trying to, like, hide that I was following him. I'd probably even, like, if I could catch up to him, I'd try and call out, like, that I was coming with him.
Okay. He doesn't really respond, but he doesn't seem to mind you. And as he walks further into the jungle, he walks through a couple twists and turns. The night is cooler now, but the jungle is cold. What little breeze or airflow, dark clouds are beginning to fill the night sky. The wind is just broken against this dense canopy. When you look around to where you're at, you see to the right this unnaturally large tree. And to the left, you see there's a small hill, kind of like a plateau that opens up into a flat field. And without hesitation, he begins to walk up the plateau.
Is that the same place that Cass had her date, or is that somewhere else?
This was somewhere else. This was a more
Okay.
secluded part of the jungle. This road, you can tell, is fairly well traveled. You literally took it into town yourself.
Okay.
And when you follow him up, you see that he's standing right in the middle. You see something odd. You see that he's standing stiff and rigid. Your dark vision allows you to see more in this now pitch black night. The moon has been completely covered now by several clouds. And you see a figure standing in front of him. You can't really hear what they're saying. What languages do you speak?
I think just Common and Infernal.
Listel just stands and he speaks back in small mutters and small phrases. But the figure's voice becomes louder and more commanding in some language that you can't understand, but you can understand enough that what he's saying is threatening. What do you do?
What does the figure look like? Can I see enough to know, like...
Roll a perception.
Man, my dice are doing pretty well tonight. Except it's just flat. 18.
You take a few steps forward, maybe angle a little bit to get a better look at him. We'll say there's about 30 feet between you and Listel. How close? Go ahead, just move yourself where you would like to be.
I'm gonna move a little bit so I can kind of see this guy.
The figure you see is also a tiefling. But he has a very dark red skin. To you, a healer, it looks like a deep red blood skin. His horns curl several times around his head and sit neatly on top. But what is most distinguishing of this figure as he stands and gesticulates what he's saying to Listel, you see his arms. It looks like things are crawling underneath the skin of his arms. And as you look more, it looks like it's crawling underneath his skin entirely. Just his neck bulges back and forth of things moving. His face just ripples with something crawling through it. And his eyes are a bright red. That matches Listel's.
So two things. I would like to kind of hold my dagger in my hand, just in case he makes like an actively hostile move towards Listel. And I would also like to throw down a Divine Sense.
Okay. You're getting a very heavy demonic sense.
Eyes narrowed. For now, I'm just gonna watch, because
Okay.
I know that Listel wants this meeting to happen, but if if this demon thing moves to hurt him, I'm going to throw the dagger.
As you sit and you watch a little bit longer, you see that Listel extends his hands in a receiving measure. You see that when he does so, the book drops to the ground. And you see his hands and his fingers, they begin to crack. And you can see the inside of his arms begin to move and fill and crawl like the thing in front of him.
Does he look like he's in pain?
His face is rock solid.
You said his eyes are glowing red again.
The same red as this demon's eyes in front of him.
I'm very tempted to interrupt, but I don't want Listel to be mad at me.
All right. Listel's arms, they fill and they shake, and he puts them down at his side, and his eyes glow red, and then they just turn right back. There's no light emanating from them. And this figure looks over to you, and he says in Infernal, "You, who claims your soul?"
My soul is claimed by Tyr, and none other.
"So you think. My son, his soul is claimed by me. And as a rite of passage, he must deliver unto me another." Listel turns to look at you. "Now, my boy, bring me her soul." Listel runs at you.
I'm going to throw my shield in front of me. I'm going to try and call out to him to stop. Listel, wait!
Okay, let's go ahead and do a strength competition here.
I roll a 6.
You're going to be able to stop him.
Man.
He is, after all, just an old man.
I was kind of hoping so.
He slams into your shield, and he looks to you, and he begins to make the incantation, that summoning sound again. And his eyes turn red. But at the same time, his eyes switch back to white. And as he slams into your shield and tries to pull it from you, he says, "Book! Book!" And he is going to try and throw you back onto the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, so give me one more strength competition.
Oh, geez, where'd that go? I got a 13.
Okay. When he pushes on your shield, you feel it's very light. It seems very light and simple. This is a frail old man. And in a blink, you're on the ground. And he is on top of you with one hand in the air with his long, jagged nails. And he is going to try and strike down on you.
Oh boy.
He is going to be unable to. As he throws his hands down, you just kind of move your head forward and they clack against your horns. What do you want to do?
Is he still trying to do an incantation?
Yes, he's definitely going back between now this incantation and yelling sorry at you.
Okay, but he's not like solidly chanting the incantation, which is okay. He said book, so I'm gonna try and make an effort to get to that book. So I'm gonna try and throw him off.
Okay. Go ahead and make another check.
There we go. There's the 19.
All right. You are able to get your foot underneath of him and kick him back.
I'm gonna also yell sorry, just to complete this fight.
Is this like a Canadian fight?
He lands back on the ground, and as soon as you get up and start running for the book, he is just as quickly on his feet, moving towards you. You're able to run down and scoop up the book. What do you do with it?
I'm assuming he's going to come at me again. This time, instead of thrusting my shield into his chest, I'm going to thrust with the book.
Okay. You're fairly able to just throw the book into his chest. The eyes red now look down at it. And he just grabs the book and throws it to the ground. And he is going to dive at you. He's going to be making another claw attack at your face. He just reaches out, and you feel it catch into the chain of your armor.
Aha!
And he pulls his hand back, and you feel blood trickle down your face.
Ah, shit.
You were going to take... Get the proper dice for this. Three points of damage.
Alrighty.
You start thinking that you just seen this miss. You just felt it dig into your armor and move away. But he hit you with it. You felt him press against your shield. You easily withstood against it, but you were flat on your back and he was on top of you.
Witchcraft. Which I'm not gonna say, but it's in my mind.
The figure in the back laughs, is just roaring at this display. He says, "Where is your mighty tear now? Your souls is in the throe of combat, soon to be dragged to the darkest pits of hell. Where is your god now?"
So I'm not gonna look at this guy, because I'm focused on Listel in front of me. But I'm kind of reply kind of more to myself than to this demon guy. He's with me as always, and I'm gonna go for the book again, but this time I'm going to open it to face Listel.
Okay.
So I know I can't see what's inside it, but I know that he can.
Listel he looks at it. When you open it and you hold it in front of him, he raises the claw above his head again, ready to attack you, and he blinks hard, and his eyes turn back to white. And he drops his hand down and he looks to you. "Tribute, help me. Please help me."
How?
And his eyes turn red again. And he is going to try and claw at you. He smacks the book out of your hand, and as he goes to try to throw his claw back into your throat, you're able to kind of raise your shield and slide his arm and his elbow up and off. And when he just kind of spins around to catch ground again, to turn back to you, you feel claw marks dig into your throat. For 2 points of damage.
Yeah, he's freaking out.
It is your turn.
Alright. Was I smart enough to take the spell that I want to use? I was. Ha 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 ha. So what I'm gonna do... Actually, it is. So I'm gonna try and like put my hand on Listel's forehead. I'm going for kind of like one of those like mega church be healed type
Okay.
like forehead slaps. Do you want me to roll and try and hit him?
You have to
Since
roll
we're
and try
in
and hit him.
Combat. Ow. Am I proficient with forehead slapping?
This will be we'll call this a melee spell attack.
Okay. Nice. It's gonna be an 8.
You reach out and try and grab onto him, but he very quickly throws your hand aside. Your spell discharges uselessly, and he will try to
waste the spell?
He will try to claw at you again. What spell is it?
It was protection against good and evil.
No.
He is going to try and scratch at you. 14 against your AC.
I mean, that'll... I think 'cause you said it was a... Yeah,
We
it'll probably,
did-
if it's 12 plus my shield, it'll be 14.
Okay.
So it meets beats.
He is going to put a solid scratch right down your face. You see the claws. You feel it rake against his face. 4 points of damage.
Man, he is wearing me down slowly but surely.
The figure in the back says, "Good! Wear her down! She's mine now!"
So me trying to grab him outright didn't work. Can I try, and hold my action so that when he comes to attack me next, I can try and maneuver while he's closer to me to, like, counter him to touch him then?
So you want to hold your turn for when... that you'll attack him before he attacks you?
Yeah, because he'll have to come in closer to me, since he's also attacking with his hands.
Okay.
And I will take advantage of that moment to then also
All right,
get a hold of him somehow.
So here's what we'll do. We'll do advantage to advantage.
Okay. So he has advantage to hit me.
Yep, but you'll have advantage to hit him.
I'll take it.
So he will go in for the claw. That is a 13 and a 6.
If my AC is 14, it would not hit.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. At base, it's a 17.
All right. You reach out, and as he throws his claw at you, you're able to duck under and just reach up and put your hand onto his chest.
And I'm going to cast Protection Against Good and Evil, so he has advantage on saving throws against being possessed by demonic creatures. I believe, let me actually pull it back up again and get the wording exactly. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attacks against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the effect. So if he's fighting the creature that is possessing him, then he would have advantage.
Okay. All right. When he comes in and you lay that hand into his chest, you see that white fill his eyes again. It is back to your turn now. The red and the white are flashing back and forth, just click, 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 click. He's grabbing and trying to cover his eyes, and he's stumbling backwards. He's actually moving out of your range, should you want this attack of opportunity.
No, I'm not trying to hurt him.
Okay. He's going to stumble backwards, and...
Add a spell slots.
And when he uncovers his eyes, they are white. And he looks at you, and he quickly points at the book.
I'm going to retrieve the book.
The book's right in front of you.
Oh, then I'm going to grab the book and I'm going to present it to him.
He will quickly take it, and he will open the book up. And when he does, as you had seen him 2 days before, when you'd asked about Adela's trident, a very bright light would come out of it, and his eyes would glow with it. A great force would begin to push on him, but he would always quickly slam the book in fear of whatever was in this book. But the book is open, and a great wind begins to press on him. The ground underneath of you begins to shake, and the figure in the back steps forward 10 feet away from you. And he says, "I don't know what you're doing to my kid over there." And he extends his hand, and you see his wrist open, and the veins begin to crawl out. And they form into some sort of long-handled blade. And he holds on to it. And he says, "You're going to hell. By his or my hand." Summoning his weapon will be his action. That is going to go back up to Listel, who is going to try and beat this. Oh, wow. And he is free. So his next turn...
I'm going to position myself between Listel and this demon.
Okay.
I'm going to throw my shield up in front of me. And I'm going to face this demon with his blade bearing down on us. Your child he may be, you do not own him. Not anymore. Be gone from this place.
And he looks to you with the blade, and he begins to swing it around, just getting the feel for it again. And he says, "I'm afraid I got a job to do."
So I'm going to draw my rapier instead of my dagger.
Okay.
And I'm going to prepare an action, which is if he comes at me, I'm going to strike at him. And by me, by extension, Listel behind me. So I'm basically preparing to counterattack again.
Okay. He is going to charge right at you, the large veiny blade in hand, and he will make an attack. That is a 15.
Will hit.
He runs up with this gross, dripping, veiny blade. And as he comes over, you raise your sword and shield ready for it. And as he brings it down, you feel this sharp pain come into your neck, right under your collarbone. Your armor, heavy and slinking off of you, not properly put on, is exposed to pretty vital spots. And as you just kind of wince to try to take the pain, put it away to keep in the fight, the pain is gone. And his blade is sitting in the ground. A look that is upset. That he missed. Go ahead and make your counterattack.
Interesting. Oh, man. Emily, you cursed me. Ah! I'm guessing a 9 doesn't hit him.
Would you roll at base?
That's a 6 at base.
Oof.
And I got a 1 on the D4.
Yeah. You step forward to try and stab him, a parry with the blade, but he's able to pull his back and throw your sword to the side.
Boy,
Listel,
wouldn't that have been sweet.
the red begins to come back into his eyes, but he just shakes his head, no! And he is going to move back in sight, about 10 feet away from this thing. And with this book open, he is going to hold it in one hand and extend. And white crackling energy will slam into this creature. And he will be whispering words of arcana under his breath. Not too bad. As this lightning-like energy stays connected, violently pulsing into his body.
Nice.
That is going to go to your turn.
Sweet. I'm not going to bother waiting for him to attack first. I am going to attempt once more to stab this motherfucker.
All right.
Okay, that's way better. 15 plus 4 is
That'll hit.
19. Sweet. Oh man, I had to roll a 2 on the D8. So it'll be 6 piercing damage.
All right. You're able to slam it into him, and when you pull back this large gash in his chest, you see that the veins come out and they begin to weave together and pull back to make his skin again. He is going to try and rebut your attack, coming forward with his blade, slaps your shield away. You have it up and just with an amazing amount of strength slaps the shield away, and he just from rib to rib slams this blade into your armor. You feel it break underneath and push deep into your stomach. A blinding pain comes over you, and you stumble back. 10 points of damage.
Oh shit, dude.
And as you stumble back, the pain is gone. Your armor is fixed. You see him at the end of that stroke. You've taken no damage.
Oh fuck, put that 1 back up there.
And that is going to go back up to Listel, who is going to drop the lightning and is going to try and grapple you.
Ah, damn it.
So go ahead and give me a check.
13.
You feel him grab onto your back, but you're able to shake him off. Just rack your shoulders around. But when you stop, you feel that he has fully grabbed you. It's your turn.
Can I try and, like, get a shifty at him behind me? Or is he too short for me to see, like, over my shoulder?
See over...
I'm trying to see Listel.
You can look behind him, and his eyes are glowing red.
Fresh at spell slots for the day. But I'm still gonna be... I'm kind of still emboldened by the fact that he has yet to hurt me in 2 turns, so I'm gonna try and call a bluff, basically. So I'm gonna kind of disregard Listel on my shoulders. I'm gonna call up this demon. You have no power here any longer. Leave him and be gone. Your job here is not to be done.
I have plenty of power here. I control him now. And when he's done, I will control you. So he's going to extend his hand. And when he does, you'll see that the veins from the sword they're beginning to come out and reach for you. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I'm not good at those. Yeah, I'm really not good at those. That's a 6.
You feel them begin to pull at your neck and begin to crawl underneath your skin. It is Lestel's turn, and he...
That was either really good or really bad, because you paused after you rolled it.
Yeah. Lestel is going to reach in front of you and grab onto the veins, and you're going to see ice run up them and into his neck.
Oh boy. Tiefling bros for life. I'm ride or die now.
A good amount of damage, and is going to quickly drop to his knees and grab his book. It is your turn. The veins have frozen and broken off.
I'm probably going to take, like, an involuntary step backwards, just kind of like, because that was jarring. But I'm still trying to stand my ground between Lestel and this demon. I'm gonna keep up this fucking front that I've got going on. I'm gonna call out again. You have no control over him anymore. And you never will. I'm gonna try and fucking stab him again, because now I'm pissed.
Alright, give it a roll.
Oh, man. Why can I not? So it's a 2 at base. For a total of 8.
Okay. You pull the shield back and raise the sword above your head, and you try to throw it across his chest. He quickly raises the blade as it scatters across and falls into the dirt. He just pulls the blade to the side, and he looks and he laughs. And you look up at him, and you see, because he's only wearing a loincloth, you see his chest just begin to cut across and open. Roll damage.
That's better, slightly better. 8.
All right.
Does he stop laughing when, like, it opens? Or is he laughing because it opens?
He looks down. He looks down and he looks back up to Lestel. And he says, "That damn book of yours. I guess it's gotta go for good. What a shame to waste a good spellcaster." And he is going to run past you and run right at Lestel. Go ahead and take your attack of opportunity.
18.
That'll hit.
11 points of damage.
As he runs past, you're able to pull the sword back in and slam it against his side. That cut now open from sternum all the way around his ribs to his back. He stumbles back, and he goes to take a swing at Lestel. And he connects.
He's just an old man.
And as he does, he slams the blade into the shoulders and chest of Lestel, and he pulls back and throws him to the ground. Lestel's chest opens and blood pours at the side of him, and he falls to the ground. And as he's trying to pick himself back up, his eyes turn red, pulls himself up, and he's going to try and make an attack on you. He will try to claw you. He will move forward, throw his claws, but you're on your game now. You're able to quickly move. And as you do, you feel a sharp pain rack across your arm. 2 points of damage. The large figure now right beside him. He's holding on to these wounds that seem to be closing. It is your turn.
I'm gonna turn my attention to Lestel. Since he just attacked me, I'm assumed he's close. If I wanted to heal him, will I have to roll a hit? I mean, he clawed at me, so, like, he's gotta be...
Yes, you would have to. They're right next to each other. They're within your range either way.
Okay. If I were to use lay on hands, would you make me roll to hit Lestel?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to attempt to do so.
Okay. Give it a roll.
Man. Why am I rolling this one? It's an 8 again.
Miss.
Man.
The lay on hands does not discharge, though.
Good. Can't be wasting those. I'm still gonna try and call out to him though. Lestel, he does not control you.
His eyes now red, just nearly hisses at you. This figure next to you, this veiny figure, just raises his blade and says, "It's been fun, and you'll be a valued member." And he quickly goes to bring it down. And with just a breath of instinct, you're able to pull your shield up over your head. The attack for 9 to hit you. It slides off your shield. Lestel, his eyes turn white. He looks beside him. He sees this figure.
Fuck him up, Lestel!
He looks at his hands, and he has no book. So he's just going to try and claw at him. And he'll miss.
Ow. He
He reaches out, but as he goes to claw, no longer under the spell of this thing, it's awkward and clumsy, and he nearly falls to the ground. But it is your turn.
They're like right up on each other, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I was going to try and get between them again. But I'm going to go, assuming that I'm still close to him, I'm going to try and heal him again this time. Since he's a friendly creature to me now, do I not have to roll to hit him?
No, you don't have to. You can just heal him.
Cool. I guess I'll try and do what Lestel couldn't, and I'm going to try and hit him.
Do an attack.
My d20 just hates me when I go to attack this guy, apparently. It's another 8. No matter what I roll on these 2 die, it always adds up to 8.
You swing, and he just seems to be too on top of his game. You swing down into the dirt, and just before your blade hits, you see Lestel extend his hand. And all of the times you've missed, and all the times that you've made the save, and you've been beat anyways, it was Lestel. And in some incredible way, his eyes glow, his hands react, and you blink, and you are face to face with this thing, and you're looking it dead in the eyes. You see now the eyes are beginning to fade white. Whatever figure was there is beginning to drain. And you look down, and you are to the hilt through his stomach. A fatal blow. Is there anything you want to share with him in that moment?
Be gone, and never trouble him again.
You pull your blade back and kick him to the ground. And as he lays there, his blood pours out. And you see a swirling vortex begin around him. And your divine sense picks up on what you could only assume is a real portal to hell.
Oh, shit.
And as it begins to pull him back down, you can feel the release of this demonic energy beginning to fill the air. The holy object you have, what you channel your divine energy through, what is it?
I have a ring on a chain around my neck with the Hammer of Tyr like emblazoned on it. It was once my father's.
The ring glows a heavy radiant light, and it almost pulls from your neck, trying to move towards this portal. When you grab onto it, it pulls your hand. You feel this energy, this radiant, godly energy. It has a purpose.
I think with it still in hand, I'm going to take a step forward.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's guiding me.
When you do, you see this round portal. As you step into it, the portal moves around you. It moves back like you're pushing the waves of this energy back. And as you're moving closer to the center, you see the body almost completely lowered down to the center of this portal. But this ring is protecting you, is pushing this evil energy back.
This is really petty. Can I step on him and push him through the portal?
You take the steps forward to the middle, you raise your foot, and just as you can, you slam your foot down into the stomach, and you feel it push, and this dark portal begins to swirl and close at your feet. And that dark energy you've been feeling begins to fade away and give back to normality. And just as the portal is closing down to a small size, holding this glowing memento of your father in your hand, just inches from your chest, something flies from this portal. And as you're holding your hand, it grabs onto yours.
Oh, shit.
And you see this blue skin, and coming out of it looks like sharpened, jagged bones. And the ring glows brighter. You feel your hand almost burn with the radiant energy. And as you're looking at the hand, grasping yours like this, the fingers begin to melt and the palm begins to slip off. The radiant guidance of Tyr protecting you. A voice comes from nothing. Arya. See you soon. And the hand slops to the ground and is sucked into the portal, and it closes shut.
I'm gonna stand there disturbed for a hot minute.
Okay.
As I think is warranted.
The sound is interrupted by the familiar, violent seizing of Listel.
Oh shit, I'm gonna run over to him.
You run over and you see once again the white and red flashing in his eyes. You now understand a battle between his own connection to some sort of magic and this evil control of him. Your ring glows, and an incantation is bored to your head. You reach down and you hold the ring to Listel. I'll need you to make a insight check.
Hey, I'm proficient in those. Dude, it's 22.
Damn.
Got an 18 plus 4.
You hold that ring to his chest, and a white light fills his body. And his eyes glow white. Expels a red mist from his mouth. And you see the wounds in his arms, maggots crawl out. And Listel comes to. God has divined to you the level 1 spell, Ceremony.
Woo!
Listel looks at you, and he thanks you. The two of you will return. Probably not much spoken, but a lot understood. So we'll come back in, standing in front of this figure in the water. This rain coming down, creating the figure that has identified herself as Valryn. She's standing in a she's kind of with her hands clasped at her waist. She's standing very tall. You can't make out much more of her in definition, but she stands very, very regal in how she looks, very stoic. The last she had said was, Adela, it was good to see you again. In the shack now is Cass, Breeze, Adela, and Addie. Addie, a fair shade of blood, as you certainly cannot do as much as you have done and not wear it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'd be wearing blood too from what they did, but you know.
Yeah, but like, at least your boots are filled with like all of the rain, all the blood you spread around. It kind of,
Yeah.
you'll be pouring Kool-Aid out later. She scans the room a little bit more. It's not the usual group you have. Very many mortals.
Not quite sure what the usual group I have is, but okay.
Well, I guess it's just rare enough to see you here. I shouldn't expect you to remember your orders, but that's fine by me. Now, I come with a request. Something simple. There is a location here on the island known as Stormbringer Castle. I believe you spoke very briefly with Traquius not too long ago. He had made a request, probably awful and disjointed. 2 or 3 words at a time. He was never much for communication. Our daughter is trapped in Stormbringer Castle. She has been for many, many centuries. And when you go to free her, I ask that you don't mention Traquius being near or even requesting you save her. Instead, you ask her to return to Nimbus. That you tell her that I sent you, and that I miss her dearly. And that is all. I suppose I can take... Yes, you suddenly had something.
Who are you?
I am Valryn.
Can you tell me more?
No. Adela can tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, you get further in life not asking questions.
Now, it is my understanding that you have been given some remedial task. And as payment, I shall help complete your task. And you see a small flash and then a loud crack of thunder. It's rare I ever pay a head, but considered a token of good faith. There will be 3 sentries outside of the castle. I don't care what you do with them. Free my daughter and send her home. I do miss her. And she looks once again to everybody in the room. Don't disappoint me. And as she says that, the rain that has been forming her body turns red.
Oh.
And the rain outside, as you look out these broken, tore out windows and walls, is red. And the rain that has been slowly dripping down onto you is red. And that red rain drops her entire form. And she's gone. And as you look to each other in confusion, you see that enough of this dripping red has gotten into Adela's hair. And her head is now red with blood rain.
Is her hair still long?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure with the dude form.
Yes. Yes, you asked that last time, and I said that the hair doesn't change.
I
the amount.
couldn't
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
That's
Still
the one
long.
thing I forgot about last session.
But your hair is now blood red.
Okay.
You look outside, and you can tell that blood is raining from the sky.
Well, that happened. Can someone catch me up? I have no idea who that is and what is going on here.
Same, but I also don't care.
I kind of care. It's raining blood.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
It's just gonna make the ocean gross.
It's gonna make everything.
Do you know how
gross.
hard it's gonna be to get blood out of my fur?
Eh. You can shave. It's always an
Have you
option.
ever seen a bald tabaxi?
Sure, if I looked hard enough.
You don't want to.
Fair point.
Adela?
Yes.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Do you know her daughter?
No.
No.
Better
Damn,
question,
I can't
Adela.
ask if she's hot.
Who are you?
I'm
If someone like that
Adela?
knows you?
I'm Adela.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried asking questions about Adela. We just don't do it anymore because
I don't really remember
disappointed.
much.
Okay.
Well, with that intense line of questioning over, the blood rain subsides back to its solid form.
I'm gonna go outside and try to get the blood off of my body.
You stand outside and it's sheets and sheets of rain. There's almost zero visibility.
Just outside the hut.
Okay.
Just let the rain hit me and
You're
the
able
blood comes off and I come back inside.
You're able to wash it down. The rain lasts for about an hour. With looking outside, you get the idea that there's going to be very little to no possibility to navigate your way back through such conditions.
Unless we all hold hands.
I'm just gonna say this.
You guys can try.
Are we in danger here?
I'm gonna offer.
Pretty sure we killed most of the stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, whether
Can we
you're
take a rest here?
you would probably take a rest here.
Yeah.
Maybe just keep yourself vigilant for what could crawl up.
I think we should rest here, set up camp, and we should like set up a watch Someone we should like take turns.
I'll just put it
I'll go first. And who's gonna go next?
Are you trying to take a long rest or a short rest?
Long rest.
Long rest, you still have your meeting.
I'm not taking a long rest.
Oh.
Okay.
I could wait that hour out, right?
Yeah.
Without missing the meeting.
Yeah.
But after that hour, we'll be able to navigate back.
The rain will probably subside by then.
Okay, we'll take a short rest then.
All right, so short rest puts you to level 2. You can roll your hit dice to get you to full health. If you got an additional spell slot, you have that spell slot. You do not recover the ones you've used. I think you get all of your bardic inspirations back. Short rest.
Wow. Staggering.
Which one's my hit dice?
Your hit dice is a D8.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So we just have one, or do we have two now that we're level 2?
You have 2.
Aha!
So it's what? The hit dice plus the con, right?
Hit dice plus
Man.
con.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
5 plus
I gotta
my
do math
constitution,
now.
which is
1.
1.
So you get 6.
Kaz will play Song of Rest, so you can add a D6 to get your health back.
I like to think that he hurriedly does this.
Oh, that puts me back to my-
Breeze
Well, Breeze is outside trying to wash
No,
his
that
fur.
gets added to your current hit points.
Oh, okay.
So Kaz
Yeah.
is like, ha 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 ha.
So you'll have 15 of your overall health.
15.
Yeah.
What kind of instrument does Kaz have?
He plays a lute.
Oh, and so
Yeah.
does Breeze.
So you permanently now have 15.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kaz hates me.
Yeah.
Joke's on you guys. Second
I'm gonna
level, I'm
say,
gonna
after
multi-class
Kaz plays this song, I'm
bard.
gonna say,
Play loot.
excellent.
Hold on, guys. Okay, go ahead.
After Kaz plays this song, I'm gonna say, that was excellent. I can really hear the feeling in the music.
He goes, wow, man, I really appreciate it. Why don't you pull out your lute and play the next one?
I pull out my flute and I play a song.
He says, oh boy, that was okay. That was okay. And he puts his lute away and walks.
What was that, Daffy Duck?
So you take your rest. You are level 2 now. Hopefully everybody got to health. And this
Oh, the D6. I didn't roll a D6. You roll a D6.
that'll get you back up to that adds to your not to your overall health, but to get you to that.
Oh,
So-
then I'm good then, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
So with that, the rain begins to subside. It's just a few small drops of rain. The jungle is now pretty wet. The river that is just beyond that bridge in the town is now rushing harder than it had before. It's beginning to pour up even over to the shore a bit more. It's a bit of a flash flood coming through. And the clouds begin to subside, and you get the idea that it is going to get very hot and very muggy soon.
Yeah.
And you are to make your way back to Bayside Warf. We're probably around 11 o'clock.
Is everyone helping me carry these berries?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a couple bushels of berries now. It's a lot. Thankfully, one of you has a bag of holding.
I do. So, what do we need to hold in the bag right now?
Bunch of berries.
Put them all in.
Alright.
So you're able to pour all of the berries in. How many do you have? How
You
many?
didn't specify how many?
Okay, let's say 12.
Alright.
You put a lot of work into that. We'll say 12.
Thank you. I have 0 inspiration to show for it.
But I have 12 berries. 12 bushels.
I was say 12 berries.
12.
please.
12 berries.
What's it?
Really hard.
I'll
for
figure
this.
these berries.
Man.
Are the corpses of the animals still there? The Kenju?
Yes.
I'm gonna go to a Kenju and I'm gonna gut it and take out its gut to make lute strings out of later.
Okay, go ahead and roll a survival.
I think I have proficiency in survival. I do. Because he won't give me strings, so I'll make my own. It's gonna be 19, 20.
Okay. You are able to drop down to a knee, and as you begin to gut this thing and start pulling out its intestines, Kaz walks over and goes, "What are you doing?"
I'm getting the materials to make some new freaking strings.
Were your strings made of organs?
Lute strings are made of guts. They're made of usually sheep guts, but I don't see any sheep.
And he looks at his and he goes,
A professional would know that.
like a professional butcher would know that.
A professional player knows what his instrument is made of.
Yeah, mine are made of small metal strings.
The better ones are made of animal guts.
I mean, clearly, because yours broke right off. So,
But they did sound better.
I mean,
You're not.
they sounded great. That twang they made. Great. Sounded great. If you're done, wash your hands, and we're going.
Oh, do you have a rag?
And he goes, oh, man, actually,
You know what? Your shirt will do just fine. I wipe my hands right across his front, all over,
he just... That's childish.
and I go up on his face.
Okay, he's not going to let you do that. He's not going to let you do that.
That's
All
when
right.
you lean in close and go, Simba.
All right. Give me an acrobatics or athletics, whichever you care for.
I'm going to do acrobatics. I have proficiency. 18, 19, 21.
21.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who wins that?
I'm going to say you're the one doing the action.
Mhm.
You're the one doing that, and he's pulling away from it.
So I'm meeting his.
No, he's meeting yours.
Oh.
He's
Because,
like saving against
yeah,
you.
he's pulling away from you. So as you rub it on his shirt and you go up to his face, he just kind of pulls back.
I'm like, oh, calm down. You got something on your face.
And he just points at you and runs over to Cass. So with your neat little ice trick to get over the bridge,
Yep.
Can I, like, take a talon from a Kenja before we go across?
absolutely.
Uh,
Okay. Survival.
okay.
I mean, someone has their head so that we took kind of how many we killed anyways.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That is a 7.
You're just kind of scraping around,
I really wanted.
and you're not able to really break through the bone to where it had met with the claws, and you're just not able to carve one off.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay? This is a lot of gory details.
No, the vein stuff is gone. I'm okay.
I just know how you get sometimes with nails. I just wanted to check.
No.
Okay.
To my knowledge, you have one Kenju head.
Yes.
I'll cut the
Just-
one.
yeah.
I'll cut the one off of that. Whose guts I took. I'll take his head too.
Okay.
That's 2 now,
All right, that's 2.
And we have a tail.
3.
Yeah.
and some guts.
I think we have
That
enough
won't count
to
for anything. All right, so with your neat little bridge trick, you're able to get back over, and you make the long walk, which is now marked with very muddy pathways. Your boots getting stuck and kind of barely maintaining to your feet as you walk furthermore. You come down the walkway where the trap the trap log was set. Adela was able to kick it down, and where you had found previously all of the now buried bodies of the caravan that was meant for supplies. And as you get walking closer and closer to where you see Bayside Warf, you can kind of hear a commotion, kind of a far distant commotion. And as you get further into town, just as you come out of the jungle, you see that there looks like a very large group of people going into the shipwreck. You see as they're going in that people are beginning to funnel out.
Yes, go down there to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. All right. Everyone begins to make their way there. It's not a terribly long walk, but we're coming around to back to Listelle's room. Tribute, you have received a nice long rest. You slept most of the day away now. As we're right around 2 o'clock, the walk back took the time. You've received a long rest, and you are met with a knocking at the door.
Pull myself off the floor. I'm probably still in my clothes because I don't think I have pajamas. So I'm decent, so I'm gonna go ahead and crack the door, see who it is.
Okay. When you open the door, you see that there are two men standing there. One human, he looks to be a bit older, and a halfling next to him. They look to be in kind of ragged garb and patchy leather. The human has a rapier by his side, and the halfling 2 daggers. And the human looks to you and says, excuse me. We're looking for a half-elf. Kind of looks down at the halfling. And the halfling goes, he's got a brother. Yeah. Got a brother. We checked their room and they're not there. Do you know where they're at?
Who's asking?
And the human quickly looks down at the halfling. He goes, tell him your uncle. Their uncle.
I don't believe that for a second.
Do you say that to him?
Yes.
He goes, looks back down at the halfling. The halfling just shrugs at him. They had long lost older brother?
You're losing credibility every moment you speak.
Looks back down at the halfling, and the halfling's just shrugging at him. And he just stands there and looks at you. He has no idea what to say.
Why do you want them?
We have to retrieve them for tea.
How tall is this guy?
Probably like roughly your height, but this time on the sea has not treated his body well, so he's very thin and bony.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out from the door. I'm gonna try to stand up like as close as I can, and get really close to him.
Okay.
Why do you really want them? Why do you really want them?
Roll an intimidation.
Oh
No.
man!
You definitely scare him, but not enough to drive him away.
Well, I mean, I don't want to drive him away. I want him to tell me the truth.
Then like you did like not enough that like he's just looking at you. His eyes are darting back and forth. He definitely his plan immediately failed. And he's really trying to think on his feet. And you've just kind of laid into him a little bit more than he was ready for. He looks down at the halfling and he's like, help me. Halfling just steps forward and goes, hey, we're just trying to do a job here. What's funny about that?
No, I just...
Are you laughing at my voice?
No, I'm gonna squat down. I'm gonna be that guy. So I'm gonna get on my knees. And what job is that?
He's like, that is the most insulting thing anyone has ever done. Holy shit.
It won't be the last if you keep talking.
Roll another intimidation.
How do you talk to short people?
Hey, there's the soft 20.
He goes, holy shit! He goes, never mind. And just starts to back away. And the taller human, he just starts to back away.
Can I try and pick this halfling up?
Alright, go ahead and give it a roll.
Talk to him like this.
So another soft 20.
Holy shit.
Alright, he begins to back up, and you just reach down and just grab him by the front of his shirt, and you just lift him straight up, just straight elbow strength. You're holding him, and he's like,
We're going over the side of the dock here.
He's like, what do you think, I'm a pirate who can't swim?
Do you want to find out?
No!
Tribute the halfling boy.
He quickly looks over, and you see the human is in a full sprint down the dock.
You don't have an ally anymore.
I wonder if I did in the first place. He's a cabin boy, I don't know why she sent him.
Who sent him?
Who said someone sent us?
Don't try and talk your way out of it. You've already given yourself away.
Fuck. I'm her uncle?
I'm gonna dunk him in the water. I'm not gonna let go.
No!
But I'm gonna dunk him. Or at least we'll dunk his toes in. How about that?
Nah, just full Batman. Just throw him in there.
You ever seen that baptism video?
No, which one?
Oh, where they dub over the Big Lebowski.
I haven't seen it, but that sounds amazing.
Oh my god. Andre loves that video.
So, you're dunking this guy, and he's terrified. He's just, like, kicking his little legs. And as you look over to see where this guy is running, you see that a fairly large group of people are moving into the shipwreck. And you see they're just as dressed as these two are.
I'm gonna pull his head back above the water.
Fuck!
Listen,
Don't drink that water!
that's disgusting. Tell me the truth, and I'll put you back on deck.
Alright, roll one more intimidation.
Soft 20. Soft 20, my dude. 17 plus 3.
Captain Anna. She's coming for that hell friend of yours. She's got backup this time.
Have I heard that name before? Is that the
Yes.
lady that cast Bean the...
And the two pirates attacked you and you, Cass, and Lorenzo.
Okay.
During the day, those were the two pirates who worked for her.
Alright, it's been a while, so I
Yeah.
thought that's who it was. See, it was that easy. And I'm gonna pick him up and put him back on the dock.
And he just kind of wipes himself off. He goes, "You know, if it's out of the bag already, then you might just leave your friend go. The captain's pissed. This was the worst time for her to be embarrassed like this. She's dead already."
You've got
Cut your
5
losses.
minutes while I put on my armor.
He kind of looks around, and he looks to his back is just the ocean, and he just very carefully steps around you. He goes, "I'm serious. Cut your losses and run." And he turns and runs.
I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna put on my chain shirt properly for 5 minutes. Not the full ensemble, just the chain shirt. Which,
Lis-
as medium armor, does take 5 minutes.
Listel is dressed, and he's looking through his book, and he closes it, and he says, "I'm ready.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm better than I have been in so very long."
It's good to hear.
Once you've put your armor on, do you head to the shipwreck?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna start a fight.
Listel will
If
be
one hasn't started already.
Listel will be in tow. So as you're working your way in, the rest of everybody, you see the same group coming in. You see there is like some sort of small person running in behind them.
With very wet pants. Like, wetter than they should be.
And as you approach, you see that a lot of people are making their way out of the bar, about 40 feet. In Abby, you see Ladley standing outside of the bar. He just kind of leaned against. He seems to be very relaxed, kind of unbothered by everything. And he will walk out to meet you. And he'll say, "Ah, my friend from the bar. I believe we have something to discuss."
We do. Would you like to go elsewhere in time for?
He kind of looks back at the bar and he says, "Well, I believe the shipwrecked will go relatively busy for the time being. We should probably avoid it. So, yes, you could come back to the community center with me."
Okay. I'm gonna look to the group and go, you can turn in the berries, right?
Yeah.
Alright. I got a boat to sell. I will see you later.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And together you begin to walk past the bar, and That is going to be Kaz, Cass, Adela, and Breeze. You go into the bar.
Yes.
As you do so, Addie, as you're talking and walking and you turn to them, you get a brief look into the bar. And you see that it is empty. And you see Mazhug is standing at the bar, half leaning over. And you see there are very long guns pointed at her.
Oh.
And this is something you all see as you walk in. When you walk in, you see there is 5 people. There are 2 people in the back. They're maybe 30 feet from the bar. There's about 15 feet between you. So probably, let's just say a 60-foot bar, 60 by 40. You see that they have guns pointed directly at Mazhug. In the center, you see that there is someone standing in fairly fine robes, but kind of a patchy leather attached to it. And in front of them, there are 2 armored and shielded gentlemen. And you see Mazhug is leaning forward. That'll be the 4 of you walking in. Addie, do you continue your walk with Ladley?
I pause for a second. I go, Ladley, do you know anything about that?
Yes. It's going to be bad for everyone involved. Every now and then, there's some sort of coup or something. I believe it was some spurn pirate captain trying to prove she's worth something to the Boiling Sea gang, or something childish of the nature. I try to keep myself separated from that. But my buyer's very interested in the boat.
If you'll excuse me, I gotta deal with some bad business first, and if you can wait just a little bit longer.
He kind of looks over at the bar. Addie, I'll be honest with you. I will still be happy to negotiate on the boat, but you've been doing your best to keep your head down and quiet. I can tell. If you go in there now, with them, and you fight them, it is going to be very, very hard for you. People will always be looking for you on this island. You're giving up a lot by going in there. So just keep that in mind. I'll be at the center should you need me.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I need it.
All right.
I'm going to roll into stealth and not enter the bar.
Okay. There's a couple windows along the side that you could view through.
That's what I want to.
As you get to a window, you see that those oars you'd seen in the past are X's now.
Ooh, yeah.
Walking in, the 4 of you seem to interrupt something. Mazhug just is glaring. The angry face she had on earlier has just intensified. Her brow furrowed. Her large orcish teeth bore now. It's very, very akin to seeing a quartered animal. And these people with their guns up, they look over their shoulder to see you. This figure in the middle turns back and sees you too. And Mazhug's voice comes out and says, "Bar's closed now." Kind of looks at you guys.
In a get out way or in a help way?
Did you ask her? Or, like, are you asking that, or are you trying to discern that?
Trying to discern that. Can I do a perception check?
Go ahead and roll an insight.
Would have been better if you would have just straight up asked.
Yeah.
That's 16. Do I have a perception? Ooh, 21.
21?
Yeah.
All right. You can see that there is definitely fear in her eyes.
Okay.
That she's not asking you for help. She's trying to get you out of there. But she's afraid.
I'm going to... Alright, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to cast... Can I cast Bardic Inspiration without anyone else any of the people aiming guns at her knowing?
You kind of have to sing that at her.
Can't sing it quietly.
She has to hear it.
Oh, I have an idea. I don't know if it's a stupid one.
I'm gonna start singing. I'm gonna sing "Beat It" and "Moonwalk Out," and it's gonna be a bardic inspiration to her.
Okay.
So like we get out, but also I give her something to help her.
Does
out.
anybody else leave with him?
But I'm gonna. I'll tell you what I do after I leave with them.
I have an idea, but I think it's a stupid one.
Well,
Nice knife.
just as you're going to sing,
Mm-hmm.
it still gets out. It'll still get to her, but the voice is going to turn to you all and say, "Well, I didn't expect to run into you all here." And he looks directly at you, Cass, and says, "Especially you. It actually saves me a lot of time to find you."
Why?
Because you, like Mazhug here, you embarrassed my captain. And you embarrassed my captain at a very important time. A time when she was just on the cusp of joining the most powerful gang these seas have ever seen. Because of you, she might not get in. And he looks over at Mazhog and says, and because of you, her name is a joke. But I'm not here, and looks over to you, Cass, says, I'm not here to kill you. I have instructions not to. The good captain will do that. In fact, she's on her way to settle her scores. Tribute, you're just outside now, and you can hear this conversation. She's going now over to that deplorable rocking ship. And she's going to settle with that man whore that would turn her away for you. She's going to gut him like the fish he is, and then she's going to gut you. And then because you're so in love, she'll bury you together.
We're not in love.
Well, that's a bit too late now.
This is all because I accidentally threw a brush at her face?
Accidentally?
Yes.
You're trying to back out on this now. It's too late. Soon the rocking ship will be in flames. We're prepared for everything there.
Are they, though?
Saywin has a secret, and we know it. Now, if you want to stay and watch this filthy orc die, you're welcome to the show. And you hear them pull the hammers back on their guns, and Massa begins to dig her nails into the bar. Or you're welcome to run off and save your boyfriend and save my captain the time. So with that information, that right now, and everyone hears this, right now, the shipwreck will be under attack. And right now, the rocking ship is under attack. You all make a decision in your mind. You can't discuss this with each other. Where do you go? Take a minute to think about it. Describe what you see in this room. The gentleman you see now, he is human. It doesn't look like he has many weapons to his side. The patchy leather is just kind of made into a coat. The gentleman in front of him, you can't really see. They're wearing rusty helmets, but their swords and their shields, they have scimitars and their shields still look sturdy. And the two gentlemen in the back, they're lightly armored, but they do have small pistols. The bar is empty, and Mazhug is alone. the look of concern on her face stays. You're just at the door now, and you've been told that they're not actually there to kill you. So, let's start outside. Addie, where are you going?
I'm staying at the shipwreck.
Tribute?
I'm going to the rocking ship.
Cass?
Mazog.
Adela?
Bar.
Mazog?
I'll
Breeze.
stay.
Okay.
Perfect. I was banking on that.
I've never even been to the shipwreck, I don't think, except for the...
No,
You
you
went the
Adela's-
rocking ship, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Saywin. She scares me.
No, that's
Yeah.
understandable.
And I like Mazda.
So where you're at now?
Yeah, I mean, Saywin kind of brought me back, killed me, and then brought me back again. So, yeah, no. Don't really care.
I knew I could count on you guys to stay here and fight.
We're reliable. Dependable.
I was this close to booking it and going to Tabaxi now.
Third option.
Just
Goodbye.
Hey, I'm not dying. I need to find my family.
All right. So
Player's handbook. I need to look something up.
But
Alright, thank you. What could we do? Yes, well.
you guys have become
Sorry, I need
Breeze's
to get better
friends.
Oh, no, that's okay.
He does
That
not.
works out perfect. Wait.
Abandon his friends. How many people are we
What did
fighting
Kaz choose?
total?
tabs. Is Kaz
Oh,
there?
Kaz is definitely hiding.
Gaz is right by Cass's side.
Aww.
Mazog.
So he does have a
Why?
backbone.
I really shouldn't be surprised.
Mazog is going to reach over and try and grab the guy's shield, but he's able to pull it back. But she is going to just try to throw her giant hand into him, but he's able to pull the shield and smack her hand away. That is going to go to guard number 2, who is going to take a shot at her. And
I thought guard 2 and 3 didn't have guns on her. I thought it was just 4 and 5.
They have
it's
pistols, I
2
thought.
and 3.
Oh, they still have guns.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 and 3 have the back. The
Gotcha.
front are well armored. That is definitely going to hit, so a loud crack of thunder comes out and slams into Mazhug.
Do we know what guns are? Are guns
We do.
commonplace?
Yes,
Alright,
we
still
still
had a
have
gun.
I was like, more.
Oh, he did. I'll
Right.
look it up.
They are commonplace, and we had this discussion about Linus. They're commonplace, whether you're familiar with them or not, whether you've seen them all the time. What we do know for a fact is no one is proficient with them.
Okay.
They're commonplace, but they're not that common like daggers. The gun rings out and strikes right into her shoulder. She seems to recoil from it, but stays focused on what she's doing. Cass, it is your turn.
I'm gonna attack number 2, since he's right in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack.
Do I roll the d4 with the attack too?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Put Cass down for a natural 1.
First one of the day.
With that miss, you run over with your, what is it?
Longsword.
With your longsword, and as you go to attack, he quickly turns and your sword is buried into the table. He is going to quickly turn out the butt of the gun, slam it into your nose
Ow.
for 19 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
That is going to be 4 points of damage as your nose cracks and blood begins to pour out. Anything else in your turn?
Nope,
I can use.
Yeah.
not yet.
Do you have just a normal wrist?
That is going to go to. That is going to go to guard number 3, who is going to take a shot at Mazhug. Okay, that shot is going to just barely sail wide, pass through one of her ears, but deal her no damage.
Gross.
It like hits her ear.
Yeah.
Ow.
And seeing that you guys are attacking, he's going to stow his pistol and draw his weapon, ending his turn. That is going to go to Kaz.
Where are there tables? Just like anywhere? Or
Tables are generally around. They're kind of standing in the middle of the area. If you want to use a table in something you're doing, just let me know and we'll work out where it's at.
Just the hide under.
Okay.
Keeping in his character.
All right. He is going to duck and hide under the table. Is he going to do anything else?
He's gonna cast Bardic Inspiration. Does he have any left?
Yes, he does. He got them all back.
Okay.
He's got his charisma worth.
Okay.
That is going to go down to Addie. You are outside in stealth.
Alright. I am going to run to the back of the building.
Okay.
But I'm going to use my cunning action to use dash as a bonus action.
So your movement and your bonus action will get you well to the back door with some to spare.
Okay. So, can I come in through the back door?
You can. This will land you in the kitchen, and there's kind of a window in the door you can look out of to keep waiters from bumping into each other.
Okay.
But that is where your movement will end you without using an action.
Really?
So you still have your action, but you are inside of the kitchen with a door and a wall between you.
Alright. Perfect. Just where I wanted. What is in this kitchen?
Inside of the kitchen is very rough looking. It's a lot of propped up wood. You get the idea that a lot of this is just kind of pieces of ships that were stranded or broken.
Shipwreck.
The finer top decks. That's exactly right. It all kind of, like, as you're looking at it, goes, oh, this bar is built out of wrecked ships.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why she called it the shipwreck. There are plenty of cooking utensils. If you're looking one in specific, we can talk about where it's at.
I want something that's not going to break. I do not want Mazhug killing me for broken cooking equipment.
Okay. How big do you want this? Because there's one of those teriyaki frying pans, like the rounded
The wok?
I'm
wok
thinking
pans. There's a wok pan.
specific cast iron skillet, just because those are pretty hard to
there is a fair size ladle. It seems to be made out of like an ugly brass. It's about 4 feet long, and it has a large bowl at the end.
There's no, like, iron skillet, though.
Oh, you can find an iron skillet. Oh, yeah, they're all over the place. They're filthy.
I'm going to tuck it under my shirt. They have guns.
All right. No, I really like this. I really like this. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Alright. Not about to run into a gunfight.
This is... Addie is literally going Joe Turreau into the fight.
That's literally what I was thinking.
Yep.
Just shoving
I say
magazines
you're going into a
his shirt.
gunfight with a knife? Yeah.
With a frying pan.
Yeah. I don't know.
Alright.
comparable.
That is 22.
If anyone shoots you with a gun, you have +1 to your AC.
Boom.
Only if you are fired at with a ranged weapon, you have +1 to your AC.
Done.
Excellent.
I can't wait for Eddie to get shot. He's gonna fall down, and someone's gonna be like, "Eddie!" They're gonna pull a pan out from under his shirt. And he's fine.
I'm just waiting for the hi. You can't shoot. Boom! Right in the face. I can't remember what that was. Where he's like, "Oh, no, it was Blank Man." Where they're like, "Just shoot his face." Oh, I didn't think of that.
So the gentleman in the middle, the leather duster wearing gentleman, is going to extend his hand and point at Mazhug. He's going to whisper some arcane words, and Mazhug, who is currently grappling, trying to pull the shield out from this guy, will let go and is going to drop to her knees. And that is going to go to Breeze.
Alright. Question, real quick. We didn't get our spells back since the last fight.
I believe you got 1 additional spell slot.
Okay, cool.
But you did not get the rest of your spells back.
Then I will use my additional spell slot to cast Bane on these 3 guys right here.
Okay, that is going to be what looks like the caster in the middle.
Yes. Caster in the middle and the two... actually, no. I'm going to cast it on the caster in the middle and the 2 gunmen.
Okay.
I'm not in here.
What do they have to beat? What number do they have to beat?
I don't have a book.
That should be your spell save.
My
So
spell save.
it'll be 8 plus your charisma and roll your d4.
8 plus my charisma.
I will not take this bad juju.
Why was it on?
It was on 10.
Oh.
12.
Okay.
12 what they have to be.
Okay. All right. Let me find. You guys know what kind of check Bane is?
Charisma,
Charisma?
We just.
I believe.
Okay. We'll call it that. The person in the middle passes. The two in the back. That is crooked.
Yes.
Ha!
2 will succeed. 3 will fail.
So I only made 1.
Yep.
Alright. Can I make an attack?
No, that is your action.
Okay. No, I think my bonus action. That's it.
I'll make your D100.
All right.
Yeah.
That is going to go to Adela.
Okay. Alright. Having...
Oh, and he's going to move up to here.
Having never done before, I'm going to do my wild shape into a giant lizard.
Okay. Do you want to tell them what happens when you wild shape?
I would imagine the water just kind of forms and I'm suddenly a giant lizard.
A giant water lizard.
Yeah.
Would you be a gecko or like a salamander? What is it? That's
A giant water
Yeah.
lizard.
I would imagine
Yeah.
that she would turn into a Kenju because we just fought him.
I actually have no problem with that. I think that's
Yeah.
very clever and
Yeah.
good to the story. So a giant Kenju just begins to form out of water. That I believe is an action.
Okay.
You want to do anything else?
I am going to... Let me see what I was reading. I'm going to climb onto the ceiling. Just freak everyone out.
Okay. Okay. So you turn into a giant lizard, turn around, and climb onto the ceiling. So we'll say 10 feet, and then that'll get you to the ceiling. And we'll say they're probably... You could probably get above number 3,
Okay.
but that's as far as you'll be able to
Alright,
get.
That's fine. Yeah.
So you just want to be sitting above number
Yeah.
3? All right. If he lives, it's never going to be the same.
Yep. Because I can climb on ceilings as a lizard.
Guard 1 is going to bring his sword down on Mazhug. He has advantage as she is kneeling.
Isn't guard 1 the spellcaster?
Oh, that is supposed to be... Oh, that was why... It's supposed to be guard 5. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have the spellcaster up there. He goes after Kaz. That's supposed to be 5. Guard 5.
I mean, same shit still happens.
Sure,
but-
yeah. No, thank you for putting that out there. He's got a hit. So with his sword... With Mazhug kneeling, he just takes the scimitar above his head and just a clean slams it into her shoulder. With nothing trying to stop it. It just sinks right into her shoulder and she just... Ah! Number 4 will come over and do the same. He is going to take his and in a horizontal slash slam it into her bicep and it will just sink right in. And she just screams in a horrible pain and pulls it out. She's going to use half of her movement to get up. And he's going to try, she is going to try and grapple number 5. She grabs onto number 5 and with what remains of her strength, picks him up and slams him into number 4.
Does that move the dice at all?
Yep. Number 4 is going to go back a little bit. He's going to hit into the bar. They're both going to take some damage.
Fuck 'em up. This was the theme for the night.
Yeah. Every time you do that, I just think,
Masuk is really hurt. And she's just kind of stumbling. She's losing a lot of blood. That is going to go to guard number 2, who is going to, with his Scimitar out. I believe Cass is engaged with him.
Yes.
He is going to make an attack. That is going to be a 16.
Did I say my shield was out?
You ran up with your long sword. I believe you have like a bigger weapon, right?
Yeah, it could be one or two handed.
Okay. Well, you didn't hit, so we didn't get any damage die. So I'll just ask you: is your shield out or not?
I'd say probably not if I was just running in right away. So it
Fair.
hits.
Okay.
Ask that question for nothing.
Well, I couldn't remember if I said it or not.
I wondered
That's
why you
why.
were staring so long at your AC. I'm like,
Well, because I would have missed
Emily.
if I had my
Yeah.
shield
Right.
out.
7 points of damage.
Ow.
They're not playing around.
Cass, it's your turn.
Okay. If I run this way, would I get an attack of opportunity from 3-2 or just 2?
Both. Yeah.
Run around. Yeah. I'll just run this way, I guess. I'll take the attack of opportunity from him.
Risky move.
16 at base.
Yeah.
5 points of damage.
Rough. And I'm going to attack number 1.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack. You have Bardic Inspiration should you need it.
Please don't crit fail. Need that
I
bardic
mean, it's not a crit
inspiration.
fail.
Oh, that
8 so far.
Okay. And then 12 plus 15.
Hits.
Okay.
From a 3 to a 15, that hits.
That's amazing.
And I'll just, yeah. So I'm doing two-handed. That's a D10. 7 damage. And I'm going to do second wind as a bonus action.
Okay. 7 damage, you said?
Smart.
Yeah.
So excited to get what you had all along.
After taking a pretty hard hit from this guy, you just pull your sword and shield down and you try to duck under him. But as you duck down, he's able to take the pommel of his sword and just slam you right into the nose again. You stumble back a little bit, but keep your footing. And as you go running up, you just leap and slam your sword into the back of this guy. It cuts through his leather armor, and you see a little bit of blood coming out. He turns to you, upset. Guard number 3 is
Under.
gonna roll a perception check. Let's just roll that.
To see the giant lizard on top of him? I can't imagine. She's very stealthy.
No.
You know, I could see how you'd think that. But seeing as how it doesn't seem like anybody's trying to mess with him, he's going to use his action to reload his gun. And that is going to go to Kaz.
Eh. He's just going to give me another bardic inspiration and continue hiding.
Please just like
Way to help
drop on
yourself.
top of him. Just
That was my plan.
And Addie.
Yup. How much movement does it take for me to bust out of the kitchen and hop over the bar?
Oh, man. 25.
Alright. Can I do like a 6 slide over the bar and like land behind those two doofuses?
Give me an acrobatics.
Alright.
If you roll well enough, I'll make it worth your while.
Alright.
But I'm telling you, it's got to be over an 18.
Alright. Let's see.
you're gambling with Katie here.
I know.
Dude, don't jinx me. Oh shit. That is 24.
All right. As you just burst through this door, the door slam against the wall. You go running out. You jump onto the... now that you... What was your plan? What was your plan overall? Now are you going to attack now?
Yeah, I wanted to attack either 4 or 5. One of them, whoever gives me advantage with Mass Hug being on the other side.
All right. So go ahead and make your attack on either of them, and they will make a strength saving throw to see if they get knocked prone. just from the sheer weight of you coming over and slamming into him.
Somebody.
We're going to say they've got to beat a 12. They absolutely destroy that.
Does she get a negative inspiration for making a Shrek joke?
Negative inspiration for making a Shrek joke.
But it was a good one.
It was an
it, though?
excellent one.
No.
Chalk her up.
20.
Which means your sneak attack is doubled, which means I can probably just remove this guy from initiative. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Alright. I didn't even have to change those dice. I landed a 4 and a 20.
So we'll say you hit 4 as he's the only one closest to the bar to hit.
Alright, let me see. So that is a D8. And then do I just roll 2d6 or do I roll 2d8?
You will roll 2d8 for your weapon,
Uh-huh.
and then 2d6 because it is all of your damage dice.
I'm still winning the nat 20 count.
I believe
that
it.
while it lasts.
Did you get my crit
Oh.
roll down?
I did.
I rolled a nat 20 for his strength saving throw.
Oh,
Though he doesn't need it, so I guess it doesn't count. I also rolled...
It still counts.
Lestel rolled a nat 20 for you to finish the boss.
Soft 20. Damage-wise.
I'll chalk 2 up.
20 damage?
Yeah.
They count.
That's double his health.
Can that just carry over to the other guy?
No, unfortunately not. What did you attack him with?
A rapier.
What did it look like when you Dukes of Hazzard slid across and killed this man twice?
No, like one really good thrust and then like a really good like kick off the back push out.
So you go running out, the door slams open, the entire tension is broke, everyone looks, and you just come out, ah! You slide across the bar. The guy with the shield goes, what the fuck? And it slams into his chest, and as he's going down, you press both of your legs against him, and you kick off, do a flip in the air and land right on your feet, and he falls dead to the ground.
Dude,
I really
love
want to pull out my loot and play that, what is it from, I think it's from CSI Miami.
Yeah, that guitar sting yell. Go ahead and move 4 from the board.
I'm upset I did that much damage on one guy instead of just like several guys.
Listen, that's what rogues are good at.
Addie
Singularly
is
fucking one
as
man.
you've landed. Mazhug is still looking really rough.
Did I at least get 5's attention?
She looks over and sees this display, and you could swear. And she'll deny it up and down. She smiles when she sees you.
I was gonna say, can you see the love in her eyes?
I
Like,
accomplished what I wanted.
for a
to do.
split second, she falls for you.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
So, this person in the leather armor is going to reach out. His hand is going to begin to glow a black and green mist around it. He's going to try and reach out and grab onto Cass. And as soon as he reaches his hand out, Cass pulls in her shield and just slams it away. A spell explodes in his hand uselessly.
nice.
And that is going to... he is then...
Sorry, I was leaving.
No, that's fine. Yeah. He is then going to angrily shout some arcane words, and a ethereal marlin,
Like
a swordfish,
Yeah.
is going to appear right here.
What?
And that is going to be... Let me take a quick look.
Ethereal Marlin, that's different.
You're gonna have to tell me what the hell this spell is later, because... Bruh.
Summoning a ghost fish.
And we thought me being a lizard on ceiling was weird.
Listen,
Man.
you being lizard on the ceiling is hilarious.
You should go eat that ghost fish.
Oh, well. After creating the swordfish is going to make an attack on Mazhug.
Is it just like floating in the air?
Yep.
Does it have to like swim in the air to move?
It just kind of strafes straight forward. That's gonna hit.
Sarah, I fully expect you to save. Oh, you're not there!
Yeah, you actually probably watched me book it in the opposite
I did.
direction because we were both outside.
There you go.
Although if we get to have that moment of passing, I would have pointed, and then I would have bolted.
Nah, I knew what I was doing. I don't give a shit about sailing.
No.
As you're looking over and you see that hug, that smile come from Maz Hug, the smile is quickly torn away, which is why it's so brief. As you see a weird marlin just appear behind, swoop down, and she goes, "Ah!" And you just hear the of something dig deep into her back. That is going to go to Breeze.
I was like, what was the look on your face for?
That's like it's almost dead.
Mm.
Like, really close.
I know.
Breeze.
I don't have any more spell slots, so I can't help her. I will cast Vicious Mockery on the caster that is in combat with Cass.
Okay. He will make a saving throw. Fail.
All right.
There's nothing he could add to that to make that succeed.
Does that break his concentration if that's a concentration spell?
He will make a concentration saving throw at the end of this damage. Go ahead, roll damage. And his next attack, I believe, has disadvantage.
Damage for that. Is it a D8?
It's a D4.
D4.
Vicious Mockery were a D8, I swear to God.
That'd be great.
It's gonna be 3.
Okay, he definitely beats it.
Isn't it the saving throw 10?
Oh yeah, he definitely beats it.
Okay.
Yeah, minimum 10.
And
What do you yell at him for Vicious Mockery?
what does he look like?
His long leather coat now has a big cut in the back. He tried to, he's human. He's got brown, very shaggy hair. It kind of looks like he might have started trying to make him dreads, but like gave up halfway through and just opted for poor cleanliness instead.
Ah, so he looks like a pirate.
He looks exactly like a pirate.
I'm gonna say. No, I can't say that.
Go, you are a pirate.
No, I'm gonna say, hey, your grandma called. She wants her jacket back.
And he takes 3 damage.
That's why Vicious Mockery is the best cantrip.
Adela. What's up?
Can I move?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I would like to. Actually, no. I'm not within range of anybody hitting me, so I'll stay where I am. Never mind.
Does that break his concentration?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mess Hug's almost dead. Ghostfish is kicking her ass.
Is it
I'm going to
Ghostfish?
drop down onto 3
Oh, you weren't there for that?
and bite
Okay.
him.
All right. All right.
This is about to be sweet.
All right. I don't actually know how to resolve this. What is 8? Roll a d4,
Okay.
and then add the giant lizard's dexterity to it.
I got 4. Okay. So 5. Oh wait, so 5 plus the 8, right?
So what is the lizard's dexterity?
Plus 1.
Okay. All right, so I'm just doing a quick dex. As you release, he just kind of sees. He hears the water warble a little bit, and he looks up. If he failed that, you'd have had advantage on this attack. But
Okay.
he passed it, so you'll just have a standard roll against him.
All right.
He sees you coming down. He sees a giant water-shaped mouth, a toothy, jagged maw coming straight down on him.
Oh.
It
Suck,
bounced
that's
back
not
to
gonna.
pencil.
I don't
Everyone
know.
has dice boxes at their feet. They could get their.
Can I re-roll it in there?
No. You can roll the next one in there. You might be surprised how easy they are to hit. Did you roll your proficiency with it?
I did not. Because I didn't realize that I get to do that with this. Okay. So that's 10.
Yeah, that's not enough. It'll miss.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
But whereas if I got to do that, it'd be 12.
It slams to the ground.
Yeah.
You slam to the ground. He's able to get out of the way, and you let out a loud, watery at him, and he's just like, "What?" Is there anything else you want to do to your turn? That'll just count as your attack action. You have bonus and movement.
I don't have anything that's really a bonus.
You could just move from the ceiling on top of him.
Yeah. I'm gonna move more towards where Mazhug is. That's kind of who I'm.
I thought you
more so
dropped off the ceiling on
I
him.
did.
Okay, if you move away, you'll take an attack of opportunity.
You say still have my movement. Well, then
Yeah,
I don't
if you
really have my
move-
movement.
Huh?
But I don't really have my movement.
Sure, if you want to take the attack of opportunity, you
No.
can.
No.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Excellent. That is going to go to Kaz.
Kaz or Cass?
Let me take a quick look here. That was Adela.
Giant lizard.
I'm
sorry,
How many
that's-
points did I do though?
I go before him,
Okay.
so they got an 18.
Yeah.
Cass?
A giant lizard has
Dude,
more
where the
hit
hell
points
are
than
we?
I do,
Breeze just went. That is Adela.
Oh, 4,
then that is
still.
actually guard 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I felt.
So. Yep.
I should have just let you have your turn.
Guard 5.
I got his attention, right?
I mean, I think the lizard has everyone's attention now.
Man.
He has instructions that he is here to kill Mazhug.
I
But
just
you
stabbed
did
his-
just.
He saw his buddy get kick flipped to hell.
It's true.
And she did just lift him up and like spun him around.
I'll tell you what. Roll me with advantage for how sick that was. Roll me an intimidation.
Oh, okay. I actually have some
If you roll high enough, then he will take his attention to you.
16 both times.
Okay. He is going to make an attack on Addie.
I don't know why I'm excited.
14.
To hit?
Yep.
Yeah. Meets beats, yeah.
All right.
Unless he's shooting me.
Afraid not. He is going to turn his shield to you, and he is going to take a swing, and that's going to just kind of... You're going to hear it spark off the shield in your shirt, but it's still going to drag across your collar. 5 points of damage.
Alright.
That is going to go back up to Mazhug, who is going to try and grapple the soldier in front of her.
Okay, I was like the ethereal Marlin. How?
Yeah.
She has advantage, doesn't she? Because I'm flanking.
Not on a grapple.
Okay.
And she is just barely going to get onto him.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's game
Number
day.
5 sandwich.
She is going to grab him by the waist, pick him up above her head, and just slam his face into the end of the bar.
Yes!
So make this attack
Get
roll
him!
with advantage. Oh, for days. Slamming him down into the bar, he is going to take... Is it number 5?
Tell me he dies. It'd be amazing.
So,
this pencil? This-
really bloodied, she pulls off the end of this marlin, blood pouring down her back. She grabs this guy by the waist and just stands to her full height. Her back cracks, having not stood as straight as she had in the past. Grabs on under his shoulders. The guy's like, "Oh, what?" And he just, and slams his head into the end of the bar. And the end of the bar isn't just wood, it's got a brass roll around it. His head slams into it, the sickening crunch of his face caving in and his skull shattering. His lower half meets the ground. She drops his body and she stumbles, and the mass of her weight falls onto the bar. She can barely hold herself up.
So I'm assuming 5 is a god.
If she does die,
Yes.
if she does die,
Let's not
Yeah.
talk about her dying.
okay.
Thank you.
But that was badass.
Guard number 2,
That would be
Kaz.
Wow. He's just been under there singing, though.
which I think is exactly why this guy's got to go after him.
Oh.
So
Yeah, fair.
he's going to walk over and he's going to throw the table out from over him, and he's going to try and drop a sword down on Kaz. That'll be a 16. That's correct.
That hits him.
Okay. 8 points of damage.
Kaz level 2 also?
Yep.
Nice. I'm so proud of him.
He throws it over, and Kaz goes, ah! 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 And the blade slams him, and he's like, ah! And that is going to go to Cass. You are with the gentleman in the leather cloak. You are engaged with him, but you hear Kaz being attacked.
Very pathetically.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's that pathetic.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you're not hit by a sword a lot, getting hit by a sword is probably pretty traumatizing.
I mean, it's the fact that, like, he tried to adjust his scream afterwards.
Yeah, you know.
I'm gonna do action surge.
What's the plan?
I'm gonna attack this dude first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, give it a roll.
That's... What the fuck?
Stop rolling behind your dice.
Do you
bag.
still have Bardic Inspiration? You haven't used the second one yet.
Okay. And that's 15. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll hit.
Okay. That is... Why do I keep rolling threes? 6 damage.
He's still up.
Yeah. I'm gonna run at my brother though. 'Cause...
He drops the Marlin.
That was enough.
Yay, get
Okay.
the fucking Marlin out.
Add it to the
Fuck
corpse
that
pile
shit.
for now.
All right, he will take an attack of opportunity on you.
That's fine.
Does he have a weapon in his hand?
No,
He was casting
Oh.
a spell.
that's right. So that is going to be for this particular attack. 17 to hit. He will take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
He tries to slap you.
Pretty much, like you slam the blade into you, and he just punches you, and just as you turn away, it just clips the bridge of your nose and cracks again.
Oh.
Poor nose. And I want to attack that dude.
Next session, you have to wear a pin on your nose.
Okay.
You will, believe it or not, it technically counts as flanking, despite the fact that Kaz is barely herring.
Under a table.
Is not herring as much as he's distracting him.
Okay, so that's... Okay, that was a 21.
That'll hit.
Rolls advantage. Rolls a 2.
7 damage. Why am I rolling like shit tonight?
Running up behind him in concern for your brother, you just thrust the sword directly at his back, and he is barely armored. He just turns enough that it slams into his back and maybe tears good through his kidney, but comes out the other side. When you rip it out, he stumbles. He looks bad. That is going to go to... Anything else on your turn?
No, that's it.
Some good organ detail this time around.
I'll work on it.
Much to Emily's dismay.
So what's going on right now is Adela, the giant water lizard, is currently in combat with number 3. Behind him is Cass and Kaz. Cass trying to save her brother. Kaz trying to scrounge up enough courage to defend himself. The guy between them is not looking good, but they're all here for a purpose. Number 1 shouts out to everyone, to his men, to remind them of the purpose. We have come here to kill the orc, and we will not leave here until she is dead. And with that inspiration, number 3 is going to take his loaded gun, and he's going to point it directly at Mazog. Let's do a dex check, you and I.
Ooh, alright.
This is initiative. No matter what happens, you forfeit your turn the coming round.
Would the bullet deflect? If I...
We'll
you
see.
know, I don't know.
It could just miss your chest entirely and shoot you right in the face.
That's fair. I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Goodness.
This is going to be the guard's initiative roll.
Oh, it's initiative versus initiative?
It is initiative versus initiative. We're seeing who can act first in this moment. 7.
Alright.
Natural 1.
Worst moment.
I was like, I have +3. I have a pretty... Nope.
Hearing this, Addie looks over, and you see Mazhug. Her forearm is holding her up on this bar. She's just breathing hard, and she's choking blood up. You see this guy pull this gun. He pulls back the small hammer in the back, and he points it right at her. And he pulls the trigger, and as soon as you take that step to get in front of it, the blood of the guy you just killed is soaked around your foot, and as soon as you do, your foot slips, and you just can't move fast enough.
He still has to make a attack against her. He could still miss.
Yes, he does.
That doesn't sound good. Just hearing it.
The gun explodes.
Is that another nat 1?
No, he fires the gun.
Okay,
Oh,
listen, you
okay.
say
Oh.
explode.
Yeah, the gun,
You think
an explosion
backfires.
comes in. No,
Oh,
it's backfire.
I thought the gun
We
just
got
like
too excited.
exploded.
Come on, man.
Too violent to a word.
The gun ignites,
Thank you.
and the round fires straight for Mazhug. Addie leaps in, the blood under his foot, just pulls it out from underneath of him. Addie falls to his knees, and his hands soaked in blood, starts trying to just pull himself up to get in front of this. And just as it comes straight for Mazhug, she drops down to her hands and knees, and the round pings right off the brass, missing her.
So we're like face to face now?
Yes!
I just checking.
Yeah!
Just wanted some
Kiss.
details.
Kiss. Kiss.
Just wanted some details. That's fine.
And that is going to go to Kaz.
Just gonna try to stab the guy with the rapier.
Give it a go. Let's see if he gets his first kill.
What's his bonus?
It'll be his dexterity plus a d4.
Okay. Why am I... Dustin cursed these.
Then stop using them.
Okay, so that's 10... 12? Right? Yeah.
Kaz, looking over and seeing how bad off you are, seeing how bad off this guy is, Kaz just grabs his rapier with, like, blade down like a knife. Just stands up and closes his eyes and just throws it down. And when he opens his eyes, it's straight through the throat of the guy. And Kaz just lets the blade go. And he stumbles back into the flipped over table, and the guy drops dead onto the ground.
I'm so proud of him.
Can't fucking crit fail.
Addie.
Ow.
Get him.
Thought Eddie forfeited his turn.
That's
for
why I
something.
was
Yeah,
like...
you're right.
That's why I was like...
So I should have said anything.
I was sitting here debating, do I say something?
Hey, man. Lawful good over there.
Man,
That goes to
it's 3 minutes past.
that goes to the man in the leather coat.
Oh shit.
That's who I was gonna go for.
The man in the leather coat is going to walk up to Mazhug.
We're right next to each other.
You're-
Does he get an
you're-
attack of opportunity?
You're basically where you're at now. You're about maybe 5 feet from each other.
Uh-huh.
He walks up to Mazhug, And she is looking at you like it's sweat or it's tears. And she just looks over at you, and she's able to get enough breath in to say something. And he grabs her by the hair, pulls her up, and says, "From my captain to you." His hand glows with the black and green necrotic energy. Her hair withers. The veins in her skin turn black. Her eyes roll back in her head. And he lets go. And Mazhog drops dead to the floor.
We failed.
Breeze.
If I was to walk up to 3, I would have flanking on him, wouldn't I? Because he's facing the lizard.
Yes.
I'm going to walk up to 3 with flanking, and with my quarterstaff two-handed, I'm going to try to swing his freaking head off.
Okay.
Twelve to hit. Alright. Excuse me. 13 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then with I get advantage with flanking, right?
Yes, you do. Well, not on damage rolls.
No, damage roll. Okay. Then I had it was a 1.
Okay.
1 plus dex. So it'll be a 3.
3.
Yes, 3 damage.
Anything else?
I can't cast. Can I cast a cantrip?
No. Not unless it's a bonus action.
Okay. I don't think I can do anything else here. So that's it.
Adela. This was not a spectacle that was hidden from anyone. What do you want to do?
Bite him.
Make your attack. You have advantage.
Okay, so that's 19.
That'll hit.
And that's...
Less.
Yeah, a lot less.
Roll damage.
Alright. So 4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You take a bite onto the front of his leg. Is there anything special about the lizard? Does he have to make a strength check or anything? All right. You take a big bite onto his leg. The patchy leather armor just rips off the big chunk of his skin. Goes down to Cass.
She's just going to angrily scream as she rushes 1.
Okay. I'll make you a deal. Take that attack at disadvantage, but if you hit, I'll make it worth it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have to do this at disadvantage too, I forgot. And then, okay. So I count, with this one I count the lowest number no matter what, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, math. Hang on. And then...
Same.
So that's 12.
Guard number 3 is going to try and make an attack on the terrifying water lizard that dropped on him.
And I take my AC or the... Oh, actually, they're both the same either way. Never mind.
13.
That'll hit.
5 points of damage.
Alright.
Addie, give me a madness check.
I don't have like proficiency in that, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Constitution and wisdom.
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
What did you roll?
2.
Make an attack.
Oh, God.
Disadvantage.
Alright.
You're better at that than me.
Addie just shocked. It just you can hear the silent screams. He picks himself up and just with a reckless abandon, there's no finesse. There's nothing good in it. He lunges.
What the fuck? I just got 2 crit fails.
Rapier in hand, as he leaps, the leather-coated man sees him coming. And as he does, he just throws his hand straight out, slamming Addie right in the gut. 1 point of damage.
We're not doing good.
Anything else on your turn? Let's say, you know. Go ahead. Anything else?
Let's say what?
Roll for
You've got a
yours.
bonus action. Kaz.
Gonna give me the last bardic inspiration.
Now, I wanted to ask. With her flanking,
It's a,
that didn't- I mean, I crit failed anyway, but does that...
it's a madness thing.
Okay.
If you would have hit him, you would have done critical damage. That's a bonus action for him.
Oh, shit, okay. I guess he'll do Vicious Mockery.
Alright, this guy will make his check. That'll fail.
Okay. What do I roll for that?
It's just gonna fail.
Okay.
But Vicious Mockery is a d4.
Okay. 4.
Nice.
And what does he yell?
Shit.
Indiscernible crying.
Wailing. That'll be enough.
Okay.
Anything else on his turn? Bonus action, he's...
Bonus action was the bardic.
Yep. Alright. That will go to the man in the middle. The leather duster. He is going to summon back the Marlin.
Oh, fuck the Marlin.
And he is going to place it right behind Addie. And he'll make an attack with it.
Joke's on him, I got a skillet on my back.
And as the Marlin slams right into your back, king! The pan had floated around the back of your shirt. So if you're now attacked from behind with a ranged weapon,
Alright.
it's +1.
I was worried for a second when you made that ting noise that somehow it had pierced you all the way through. The pan, I was like, ah, that's not funny at all.
And he will draw his dagger to make an attack on Cass, which is a 15.
Miss.
Okay. That is going to go back up to Adela.
Okay. I'm gonna bite at him again.
Give it a roll.
Because those lizards are basically gonna attack my lizard ass. That'll be a 17.
Hit.
Alright.
I can't tell if I'm taking everything to heart or if it's just a pop, but I
6.
got really shaky and nauseous.
6 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
What's it look like when the giant water lizard kills him?
I'm gonna say I just take a big chomp and he just falls because I've bit too hard into him.
You take a where you attacked on his leg, you take another big bite, and as you pull back, you just remove the leg entirely. He drops to the ground, and for a moment, he takes in a deep breath, and as he begins to scream, he just fades away. Breeze, it's your turn.
I'm gonna.
Can I take my movement action, move over to
Yeah.
the other one?
Yeah, I'm also gonna move and flank him, and I'm gonna whack him.
X gonna give it to you.
Alright, you have advantage on your attack.
What a circle of hatred now.
Do the advantage.
The Marlin behind me.
That's a 22.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And it's D8.
I'm glad the skillet got to
A
me.
7
7 damage.
plus Dex. 9.
9.
9 damage.
He will still be able to hold the spell.
And then for my bonus, I'm gonna give a verdict to Addie, because I want Addie to kill this fucker.
Cass.
I'm gonna attack again.
Jesus. Advantage. Flanking.
Oh, crit.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
We're flanking hardcore here. Actually, glad I reminded you.
Chalk one up for Emily.
Bardic Inspiration. Can you use that for damage, or is it just attack rolls?
I think that's at level 3 you can.
Okay.
Only if he's a Valor Bard.
Right.
Yeah.
But for now, it's only
So,
saving
the-
throws and...
The roll is twice?
Yep.
Okay.
Emily is currently leading in natural 20s. And she is tied
Okay.
with me.
That is 23, I think? 23 damage? Wait.
Did you do the strength ones?
Yeah. Or wait, what did I roll first time? 3?
It looks like a 14 from my count
Okay,
on
yeah.
rolls. Plus your strength.
Yeah. So 17.
Okay. So as you've all gathered around him, he's doing his best to hold on to this spell, but he knows that he's cooked. He turns to look down at Addie.
Down. How fucking tall is this guy?
It's not about height. He looks at you knowing what's about to happen, and he says, "At least I didn't fail her," as a blade rips through his chest. And he just looks at you until his eyes roll back, and he dies.
Get that piece of shit off the... And his Marlin, too.
Running through Bayside Warf, 2 tieflings who just had the adventure of their lives, which is going to lead to something hopefully better. Better is not today. As you go running down the docks, you see a well-armored dwarven woman. She is being harried by 2 not well-armored men, but the evidence of the 3 bodies laying around shows that she is no less of a warrior for the shape she's in, but for what she was able to accomplish on her own was mighty indeed. But with the assistance of 2 people coming to her aid, of Listel and Tribute, you're able to quickly dispatch these 2. You look down and you see Holly in her dwarven armor. You see there's a good cut through a good portion of it in her stomach. This large hammer that she had been wielding, she drops to a knee and just puts pressure on her stomach while just death grip on this hammer. And she says, "Well, if it isn't the singer, what do we have to pay you for the visit?"
I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna like touch her shoulder and give her 4 lay on
She
hands.
pushes it away. "I don't need your pity.
Maybe you'd like some healing instead.
I don't need your healing. Say when they went after her. And that's not usually concerning, but there's usually screaming and explosions by now. Please. The people in there, they do an ugly job, but they're good people. Please save them."
We'll try.
She'll just kind of sit down with her hammer and just points at the door, and you see the door has been kicked open.
I'm gonna head in.
Okay.
She won't let me heal her, so
Listel follows. When you walk in, you see there is a woman. She's wearing fancy red leathers, a duster that is pushed back and held behind her hips to reveal a nice leather pant and well-shaped, cleaned boots. She has a rapier and a dagger at her side and a nice brimmed hat, black hair flowing down from the sides. Beside her are 2 fairly well-armored men. And in front of her, there is a dwarf, unique in that he has a flat top of his head. He too is wearing a scrapped leather armor. But what is most frightening in this room is you hear the sound of a rushing wind. You see that the dwarf is holding something out. You could see it shaking in his hands. And you see that Saywin is laying on the ground, unmoving. The woman turns around and sees you and says, I know you. You're her friend. And as she says this, the door in the back swings open, and you see Lorenzo struggling, but someone of just an older pirate just drags him out and throws him down. His hands are tied behind his back. She turns to you again and she says, but an audience is an audience. Let the bloodshed begin.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you'd like to hear more of this adventure, stay tuned to our Twitter @QuipsandCrits for live show announcements. If you liked today's episode, leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Music on today's show is performed by Leon Lischner and Dennis Murphy's Polka, which can be found at Free Music Archives. Links provided in description.
I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by